pays me well. It's been going on for a while. She's telling me a million excuses I've already heard. Confronted with the way she refuses to communicate, and I won't deny she's got me hooked. Now I can tell wrong from right. I can't decide if she worth it or should I stop trying. She keeps my foot in her door, just enough to be sure I can begging for more, then she turns me down. I can't deny she's got me hooked. Now I can't tell wrong from a right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020. Glad that you stuck around. I know that it was quite a gigantic break. I think it was like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's because T1 decided to speedrun a telecom war and definitely put KT down very, very quickly. And now we're looking to see whether Hanwha Life or DragonX can do the same thing. We want to know whether both of these teams are the real deal, because Hanwha did look much stronger than we expected in week 1.
Yeah, they definitely did, and they also had really good drafts in week 1. But in their last series, though, they did drop the ball a little bit, and that sort of, it derailed the train for me.
It was against a Freak of Freaks. A lot of it had to do with Keen being pretty good. QV wasn't allowed to play League of Legends for one of the games.
True.
It wasn't so good. But we'll see whether they can turn around that performance. One of the really cool things about this matchup is that it's Lehens versus Chovy and Doran plus CVMAX over the other side. So the former Griffin player now playing against Griffin players and the Griffin coach from 2019. But Griffin's actually, they finished yesterday.
Yeah.
Managing to get that 2-1. So interesting stuff here. QV and Haru once again at it. We'll see whether they are going to be able to get things working here for this squad. Having a look at the points of the game, volatile game incoming. I'm not sure whether that's entirely true, but I hope we have volatile drafts.
Yes, that is what I'm looking forward to the most, is what kind of a draft is Hanwha Life going to bring out here today. And then DragonX looking for the 3rd win in a row. Now, DragonX they've been bailed out a few times.
Yeah.
Of similar things that was plaguing the Griffin of old. And I'm alluding to the D word.
Yeah.
We don't like to,
It used to be scaling was the naughty word. Now draft is
yeah.
the naughty word.
Now draft, right.
We're allowed to say scaling as much as we want because no one really does it anymore. And as soon as it's a scaling composition, then actually that just means that they've probably drafted themselves for a cohesive late game composition.
I like the final point in regards to Kyria versus Lehens.
Yeah, it's cool.
We'll see what both of them can end up doing. Lehens definitely a bit of a cerebral support player.
Yeah.
And that is what he's mostly known for, as well as champion pool diversity. And I believe in one of their last interviews, they talked about how we might even see mix-ups with lane allocations where Lehens mentioned jokingly, or maybe not jokingly, going top lane sometimes, depending on some matchups. And interestingly enough, he alluded to his Singed. Singed is actually really good against Set. And so if there would be a timing for such a thing,
just for those
QV
who
to go support.
Bit of a history lesson for those who don't remember. Lehens was an Elise support and Singed top lane 2-trick.
And he got
queue.
rank 1.
And he got rank 1
Got
with
rank
those
1
champions.
with Singed top and Elise support.
Yep. And we saw his flash cocoons on the Elise last year. Maybe it's time for him to bust out the Singed. As the DragonX definitely look like they have the better stats, and we're going to be checking them out first here in the highlights. As this was from their first match, of course, with Quad instead of Doran. Quad, of course, their trainee mid laner, and Chovy did play top lane for that game. Some interesting statistics are that the damage done of Quad and Chovy added together equal up to more than that of Chovy and Doran.
Okay, well, I would
use that information as you will.
Wow, that is some great statistics. Would it have anything to do, perhaps, with Quad being on Cassiopeia?
2 games in a row?
2 games in a row with Chovy also lane kingdoming his opponent. Would it
It
No?
may have something to do with that. That might have something to do with it.
I always love stats in a vacuum because they don't actually tell you anything until,
I know. That's my favorite
until you
thing
ask
about
the question.
stats. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
one of the things I hate the most is when someone tries to use stats as the entirety of an
Yeah.
argument or as a conclusion.
Yes, but this number is this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Another cool stat. I'll have another cool stat for you. Do you want another cool stat?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Currently, Deft is sitting on a most played of Aphelios and has a 36 KDA and a 100% win rate. I believe he's died once. That's how you get KDAs of that gigantic magnitude.
So you mean that he died once?
He did. Not impressive. We needed to define
Honestly.
the KDA. Otherwise, it'd be undefined.
I mean, why even pick that champion anymore if you're going to be that bad at it?
Well, let's talk about picking Diana, because Haru was the original. As we, of course, moved over to have a look at their highlights. Some great tanking there by the set, just to make sure that we're not going to die here, as it is going to be the supportal combat as our key players, Carrier and Lehens. Going to be on your screen right here, and Carrier with pretty gigantic kill participation. My stat is actually quite different. It's 82%, but 80% is approximately the same. Maybe we've just rounded. But goal difference-wise, they have been doing a little bit more winning on the side of DragonX, so you can understand that. But control words per minute as well, actually up by 50%, which is quite large.
It is. And the other thing about this dynamic is that Kyria definitely plays more around very focused things that are basically like objectives or team fighting and whatnot. Lehens tends to be all over the place in terms of his approach to the gameplay, and so Kyria has only really had one game where he did look questionable so far.
I hope that it was the Tom Kench game. Yeah. Because they lost that. They also lost the Nautilus game, but his Thresh and Alistair have looked fantastic. Alistair has been paired with the Aphelios both times, and as DragonX will be taking the blue side, look to see whether Aphelios is going to be that first pick, because Deft is ridiculous on that champion and just in the bottom lane in general. But if you give him a busted champ on top of that, things are definitely going to go well for you. Lehens there to try and help out, make sure that they can take control of a bottom lane that can be very, very volatile. The young mechanics of Carrier, the cool-headedness and just star form that Deft has always had alongside the rest of this team, which we have been very excited about for a very long time, but I don't think their first week lived up to the hype, necessarily. Yes, they came out with back-to-back match wins, but they were close. You know, these weren't stomps by any means. They lost that game 1 to KT, and then followed up with a questionable performance against Sandbox, where it was sort of trading sinful drafting over and over again. They said thank you to Summit for picking back-to-back Aatrox games. I'm looking forward to see whether they can tidy up the draft and get themselves into fighting form heading towards the rest of the week, because it's about time that we start to make up our minds on who the top 4 teams are in the LCK.
We'll have to see who's going to come out victorious here today, as Doran will be starting in the top lane, and so no Chovy going up there. Even though a lot of interviews with players have alluded to what if Chovy goes top lane.
Yeah.
Some top laners have obviously commented on it, and I think it would be a really nice thing to see.
I mean, there's also the fact that Chovy was always known as like the Galio player, the Nautilus player, the like burly bruiser mid laner. He was off and on more of a facilitator, as CV Max especially loves to draft around these sort of like 1 damage comps, and did on Griffin quite a lot. Seems like the team really likes it, just Griffin as a whole, because they've been doing that around Viper anyway. But as we get into Champion Select here, we'll see whether CV Max is going to bring out some of his old strategies as we look to the future, because building a composition around Deft is not a new strategy. You can look at 2014 for that particular strategy on Samsung Blue. So let's see what is going to happen here, as we're taking a very long time for that first ban.
See what it's going to be. 0 seconds on the clock. Oh,
whoa.
Okay. Well, that was...
So DragonX waited for 0 seconds, and then Hanwha Life took 0 seconds.
Yeah. Really fast draft occurring right now as Lucian is the ban by Hanwha Life, as well as the Akali.
Remember, this is Chovy, so Akali is a different story against this team. I believe that you will see Akali just permabanned against Showmaker and Chovy every single time.
And set, gonna be the final ban by DragonX.
So no Soraka ban or Ornn ban to come in here. Maybe Hanwha Life opting into just letting both of them go through. And now DragonX with that awkward decision to make. Like, do we pick the Ornn for composition, try and flex it around, get it away from a potential Soraka, and potentially walk into it?
Well, the thing is that
know.
Ornn B1 walks into Soraka, so I think that in her current state, B1 Soraka might be the best. It might be the first pick, or it might be the best first pick in the game.
That's crazy.
Just because it shuts down so many scaling. Okay, well, there it is. There's the R2 on Soraka, and Yuumi is banned, so they won't have the Yuumi Soraka going, but it just doesn't matter. Now,
do you pick
DragonX?
Do you pick Kled and then just try and like run at the Soraka and put her on a bear trap on a rope?
So Soraka can actually beat Kled.
Oh no.
Tryndamere is quite good, and then obviously mages.
Yeah.
Mages are a way of fighting back against her.
Oh, is this Chovy's first Zoe of the split? I think it is. It is. Chovy currently played Victor, Kiana, and Nautilus. And he's going to be jumping on the Zoe now, as that's an Olaf. Pioshik is Lee Sin. And we're picking it into the Lee Sin, which is often picked in to the Olaf, as that's a...
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. So you know how you talk about sinning drafts?
Atlas.
This looks to me like the biggest sin, which...
What?
As in, like, you know, you sin the draft in order to lose. This is like sinning the draft in order to win.
They are saints.
And this is how you sin it to win it, man. Like,
Lee
this
Sin is
awful.
the blind monk, and everything right now is pure on the side of
Are we talking about
Life.
Lawmaster Cho again?
I don't even know where we're going with this one. But everything is just really lining up. Now, the Zoe is probably thought of as, okay, I can apply the bubble trouble and then try to burst them in one pop before the Soraka heals can come in. But the problem is that Soraka is actually really good against Zoe, because Zoe comes out of her R and Soraka just places a silence, and the Paddle Star reactivation doesn't go off.
Yep. And also very projected as to where you're going to be after a couple of seconds after the portal jump as well, so you can just place that one down and catch the Zoe on her way back. A lot of different things that you can do.
Other
Execution going to need to be there, but Hanwha Life so far, a fantastic draft. It's been really good to see.
Now, obviously, you can have Executioners on Olaf, and he can apply that with his... I mean, it's looking really rough. Hanwha Life just have
Are they going to get some damage somewhere?
Well, they're going to have a hyper carry.
Is it going to be... Is it Kog'Maw? Does Kog'Maw come out now?
Kog'Maw's really good here, especially...
I like hybrid damage when you've got no damage.
Especially when you have Ardent Sensor able to be picked up. This is the kind of draft that makes me very excited. They have the Shen as well.
Oh, I love Pyke into this comp, though.
Shen's flexible right now. Soraka, Shen, and Karma are all triflex right now. Well, Shen's actually dual flex, but Soraka and Karma are triflex.
Yep.
And the Pyke is coming in as a means to try to get through the shields, but honestly, DragonX are walking right into Soraka Karma.
Picking Aatrox into Soraka sounds
and
absolutely awful. Ornn would be almost worse.
Ornn is worse.
Oh god, okay. Well, how does Hanwha Life augment this Picasso of a draft? And Picasso, remember, extraordinarily famous and exceptional artist.
So you're looking at Jinx, Caitlyn, Kog'Maw.
And the Tryndamere? That's what we're going with?
So that's going to be Soraka ADC.
Have they just been listening to you?
Oh.
Is that what Hanwha have been doing? What is this?
No, go back to 2012, Atlas, okay?
I was going to say this is like back to the StarCraft days.
We lived together for 2 years.
Did you guys have drinks last week? Like,
no,
what has been happening?
We actually did live together for 2 years. I haven't personally talked to him since, when was it that, was it Rocks Tigers
Monday?
played against? No, Rocks Tigers played against Forgiven's team. I actually talked to him.
Oh, wow, that was a long time
That
ago.
was a long time ago. I spent a lot of time actually talking to him before the match. That was a long time ago.
Well, looks like some of the respect may have stuck, LS, because he's basically taken your playbook and everything other than the Carthus he has decided to pick.
Well, this is going to be very scary for DragonX. Now, if they get ahead, they do have tools to sort of strangle the opponent and asphyxiate them. So, sort of the same thing, but...
No. That's the cause
Sort of,
and then the effect. No, you did it.
Thank you.
Strangle leads to asphyxiation, yeah.
On the flip side, though, it goes both ways. However, Hanwha Life, if they're even, they are so far ahead. And so, if Hanwha Life is winning, you're crying. And if they're even, you're welling up. That's basically what's going to go on here as we're headed into game number 1.
We are. Let's get onto the rift for it as Karma mid lane, Soraka bottom lane as the awesome lady. You normally say awesome dude, but Soraka's not a dude. She is a goat killing machine. In this comp, anyway. Cuve's taken the Ghost, a man after my own heart.
The triple region bead, Tryndamere has one of the highest base HP regions in the game. And so the way that the HP region works on this item, it calculates based on your base.
Your base, yeah.
Right, so Tryndamere gets insane value. And Ornn, because Tryndamere is a monolith champion, has this kind of sustain on his base region with second wind, with his Q. This is one of the few champions in the game Ornn can't out-sustain inside of lane. So Ornn's in a counter matchup. Zoe is in a counter matchup. In the bot lane, that's where they're going to look for some aid, but Shen Taunt into Soraka Silence, into Chain Soraka slows with Shen Q slows. If you get hit, you're dead. There's just so many gears and tools available on Hanwha Life.
This needs to be a massive amount of just pure player outplay from DragonX for them to be able to win against this comp. This comp is just amazing, and already Vista is in a whole host of trouble. Getting taken down to half health, not great for a Soraka in a laning situation. She wants to use that health pool, but see whether Vista can land the Qs to get her in there. Because yes, we've looked at this glorious draft, right? But now Hanwha needs to execute on it and make it work. As when I'm playing Tryndamere, by the way, I hate it when I crit minions because I'm like, oh, that next auto attack would have been a crit on the champion.
Yeah.
Dang it. I could have won lane.
Taking a look at, by the way, some of the runes here. Chovy, a bit of a savant, does have the Gathering Storm, not the Scorch.
There we go.
Like we saw some people sinning with earlier on today. Now, sadly, Doran didn't actually take Fawn of Life. He took Demolish. And so, Demolish is it's usually pretty rare that you would end up picking it. Turret plating has been nerfed, getting turrets in later stages. I mean, it doesn't serve all that much purpose as a rune. It's more of a solo QE rune than it is inside of competitive. And against Tryndamere, you're not going to be on the turret.
No, well, this is the thing. It's a luxury rune.
Right.
That if you're winning, you'd be able to win more using it. But when he's ever going to be able to do that, I actually have no idea, as Vista taken too much damage so far. Still level 1, as this wave is just massive in this bottom side.
And he's already burned through both of his red potions, as has Lahens. And this is a byproduct. Vista has yet to land Qs, so
they're losing so hard, I don't think Haru can show top, even if Doran's pushed up like this. Because that gives DragonX the ability to dive and go hyper-aggressive bottom lane. And they're doing it anyway as, okay.
Well, that's the power of the Shen Taunt, and I did not see if Vista had silence, but that would make sense.
I didn't see anything, but yeah, I guess he's just dead. As Chovy, he's going to get slowed down, snared up. Good flash to get out of the way of the Q. He had to wait for that one, as now Haru. Bit of extra damage because of that trouble bubble. But a bit of a disaster. That was their power point on the bottom side, as Cube taking a lot of damage here from Doran.
Has the support item. And so what we're going to end up seeing is Haru, depending on certain waves, Haru will come mid and end up taking... Oh, this is so beautiful, man. Let's take a look at how this all transpired as, okay. The silence, there it is. That's the combo.
Yeah.
That's the route that basically says you're going to the Death Realm. He was calling for it.
나왔어. 다이브 안 당해, 다이브 안 당해.
Well, that's Lahen's MVP already. Calling it now.
This is so rough. There's also no response to the Hanwha Life split push later on in the game when Tryndamere ends up getting the Trinity Force Essence Reaver.
Yeah.
Once he gets to those 2 items, and some people thinking, wait a minute, he doesn't use mana. It's not about the mana. It's about the stats that both of the items give.
Yep, crit and CDR.
Gets
Two
the crit,
of
CDR,
Tryndamere's
attack
best
speed,
friends.
movement speed, AD. It's not about the mana.
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me about it.
what about what is the shocky item that no one builds anymore?
Static shift?
No, the other one.
Rapid fire again?
No, the other one. The one that buffs those 2 items.
Storm Razor?
Yeah, that's the one. Is that the one you were
Get
talking
off
about?
the desk.
No,
What?
can't build that? I was just wondering. Because that's also got stats that Tryndamere really likes, you know?
Well, Storm Razor, I do believe even got nerfed.
Yeah,
if you remember, it did lose.
that means it must have been strong.
Oh.
No one was building it even then. So sad.
Now-
Doran going through all of his mana. This is exactly what you were talking about. It's a bit of a fight,
Yeah.
HP bar versus mana bar in the top lane.
Now, also, getting an early Bramble Vest, even in this game to transition into mid-game, is really good.
Yeah.
Also, I actually don't mind the bombies here as a first item because you're always trying to fight back and actually shove against the Tryndamere. There's not really a lot of value in freezing against him.
Doran is actually doing a pretty good job so far on the top
Yeah,
side.
he is.
Hopefully he doesn't build a Sapphire Crystal as Haru, taking a lot of damage here from Chovy. Great to see
Yeah.
Chovy Zoe back in the LCK, 18-8 so far as a win rate, but a 10 KDA, guys. That's what you've really got to look at. Doesn't matter what game it is, Chovy will do great stuff on this champion. See whether this composition that Hanwha have fashioned for themselves is going to be its downfall in this game. But already, I mean, he's double the CS of Tempt, but it's really weird because Tempt has got a support item. And so it's really hard to really understand what that necessarily means.
You know, I don't know if this is any coincidence, but did play against Tempt with this funnel thing.
I thought you were about
last
to say,
week.
like, a few of the players recently followed your Twitter or
No.
something like that.
I did play against Tempt in mid lane twice last week with the funnel, although it was different. It was Karma Karthus and Soraka Karthus, so I was funneling the Karthus.
All right.
But I don't think he had a very fun time.
I imagine he probably didn't.
It's very insufferable to play against because it gets to a point where the support item is giving so much gold and then it just gives so much good stats for so cheap. And as the enemy mid laner, it just doesn't feel like you're ever really getting a leg up. Some people might be looking at this and saying, okay, doesn't Chovy have a 50 CS advantage or a
just
40
looking
CS
at-
advantage? And it's not really that much because the gold is being spread between the support item as well as the jungler.
Although Haru not actually farming super quickly. Of course, Olaf always going to be farming faster. But it has been a pretty quiet game so far for Pyoshik. We'll see whether he stands up and gets some work done as Deft going aggressive. Hopefully Kerry is going to be able to recover from his early mistake. Something that new players find difficult is always having that mental reset after a mishap. Kerry being put to the test here. Pyoshik going for the Warrior Olaf variety. Last time we saw it, I believe it was Kuz going the Cinderhulk instead. This time will be the Warrior as Haru in vision. Chovy moves on over but spots the control ward. Haru wants some honey fruit. Bubble. Gonna go wide as the Q lands onto Doran, but I don't think they do have an angle.
It's like a Venus flytrap, that bubble.
A little bit
Oh!
as Deft is silenced, but now Lahen's maybe overstepped. The Q is going to miss the flash. Oh, Carrier made up for lost time right there and picks up the kill. Delivers the money over. The reset is oh so easy. Pyoshik tanking up the turret says, you deserve it, mate. No turret's going to hit you, my golden boy.
And that is such a big play right there because Pyke's passive giving
So much money, man.
much gold over to DRX, and this is what they need. They need to stay ahead because with the ore, you can use the ultimate to engage really hard onto the Soraka Shen Karma and try to just break them before they get to that late game scaling.
Dude, they just went from basically even to 3,000 gold ahead.
It's a nice, okay.
Like out of actually nowhere.
And Haru can't really take that Q against Chovy. Chovy doing a pretty good job at just making sure nothing too catastrophic ends up happening here in mid. And also, DRX picking up that Infernal.
And also, Doran, listen to you as we check out the pro view from Carrier.
He says, let's see this, let's do this.
Yeah, and he knew it.
Really nice right there.
Super clean. And he'd already cast it because he knew that bullet time would have the damage. Ah, just love it. Really great stuff there from Carrier. And that was the caster blessing that time around.
Yeah.
We were talking about whether he could get himself back in form. As speaking of caster blessings, Lahen's in trouble once again, and Carrier is right here. Kyoshik delivered. Signed and sealed. Gets the kill. And Lahen's just went from God tier to not having the greatest time here on the bottom side.
And there's the Bramble Vest.
Oh my god, again!
Again, yeah.
Vista in trouble. Kyoshik actually hard flashing. Yeah, exactly, over the wall. Undertow going to be here, lands that one. Silence going to come down. I don't know whether it's going to be enough as Deft. Yeah, he doesn't even mind about your shields, Lahen's, and his ultimate now is on cooldown. DragonX have picked this game up by the haunches and decided, no, enough of your shenanigans. We're just going to smash you.
And I really like that they accrued all of these advantages
Haru, another bullet time,
okay.
but Safeguard was there. Def probably surprised that that was off cooldown after moving towards this lane in a minion wave.
They got all the advantages in the lane that initially fell behind. And then this is the lane that they need to snowball the most because of the Pike.
Yeah.
He's able to come online, be so powerful against the shields.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I think I have to. Doran has done exactly what you asked him to do.
Yeah, the Bramble Vest.
Yeah.
There it is.
Just really great stuff.
Really
Checking
good
out the replay
itemization.
of a very aggressive DragonX.
It really looked like Pike is the evil twin brother to Shen.
Yeah.
As Lahen's does end up getting brought down, and the bot lane is really falling apart. And even though they have an insurance policy inside the later stages, one of the other things that I have to point out, and it's not a slight at Doran at all, but I mean, he's playing really good in this lane. Tryndamere should not be this close still at this point. So, without obviously watching ProView and only getting glimpses of top lane, it's really hard to tell what it is that's going on. Cube's build is extremely bizarre.
That is pretty easy right there. Chovy just over the wall with the portal jump, but you get bone skewered, you die. That's what it feels like at this stage of the game.
What is... Yeah, I'm not so sure what is... okay, I think we're just going to have a solo kill.
Yep, and well, Cube does have at least his E and his ultimate, but this is only a level 1, and the Bellows Breath is going to do it. So yep, that is exactly that. It is a solo kill as Carrier sees the Q, finds the Bone Skewer. Doran, he wants a minion wave, so no. Doesn't want an extra kill. Not going to bite off more than he can chew. As now there's a bullet time just to clear a minion wave. Def just having the best time ever. If he can clear waves over and over again in the early game, he's a happy camper.
Yeah. And Chovy did his job this game. He just kept doing the 10, 11 CS a minute in mid lane. Didn't die to any pressure, didn't lose any turret plates. In fact, even got some himself. Take a look at this. E comes out, Bellows Breath activation, R cast immediately.
Oh no! Cube was also out of range of turret plates, I think? Oh man, that was really, really bad.
Definitely a strange thing going on here, as Sunfire Cape almost going to be complete. Black Cleaver being built on the Olaf. Executioner's already on the MF. I would really like to see an Executioner's picked up on Olaf as well. It's all about just tightening... well, I don't know if that's very nice to say, but basically, they just need to tighten the stranglehold.
Yes,
It's
tighten
all
the screws.
Yeah.
Tighten the screws.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a thing, I think. You're allowed to say that.
I was going for something else.
Colloquialism, I guess, but Vista going to try and slow down Deft a little bit and then wants to vacate the area because Deft is very, very strong and has an Executioner's calling. the worst nightmare of any Soraka ever. The forbidden book, not so forbidden for DragonX this game, and will be one that Chovy will be building towards now is another one. It's just one of those things, I guess.
Well,
Carrier had that one whoopsie and said, nah, don't worry, guys. I got this. Had some of the Michael's secret stuff and then completely adjusted his playstyle. I think Def just wanted to have a bit of a laugh. That was like a mode spam. Pressing that R button.
all right, Pyoshik, he picks up the second Ocean Dragon, and it's going to be a Cloud Soul this time around.
Maybe this is all part of Hanwha Life's plan. Give away 2 of the Drakes and then get to a point where they can get Cloud Soul as Haru.
That was so nice by Kyria.
Yeah, so beautiful. Just read him like a book, as now the Ornhorn has been called. Tempt, nowhere to run, just going to get knocked up. Another Undertow lands. Tempt, no flash available to get out of that one. The turret was killed in the meantime. And Carrier's just making plays before I can even talk about them. As you can see right there, was wondering whether the Shen was going to go for a re-engage, but sets up the stun just so that there is no option, much like he did to Haru.
Well, definitely a bit of a peculiar game. I think that it's all over. I think it's all that she wrote.
I think as soon as the double reset happened bottom lane.
That's what really, yeah, the double reset, snowballing bot, the Karma and Lee Sin not achieving enough in mid lane, Olaf accurately assessing what he needed to do in response to everything, and then also Doran beating the Tryndamere straight up it's really perplexing.
To be honest, if you don't have flash and you land a Q as Lee Sin onto a Pyke, should you ever take that Q? I don't think you should ever take that Q unless you want to get stuck.
It's a mind game because you can respond with ward hops.
No, but he just holds onto the Q, and then if he ever presses the Q...
Yeah, that works too, yeah.
And if he has flash, he's always stunning you.
Yeah, it's in Pyke's control.
Yeah.
But there is skill quotation marks
I guess
involved.
there is like outplay potential. If you can mini stun with kick flash, then it's very different.
When I get to talk about stuff like this, doing VOD reviews or anything of that nature, I like to view it from the angle of who is the one that has the autonomy. And obviously in this regard, it's the Pyke.
Yeah.
So if Pyke ends up getting kicked, it's more so criticism on the Pyke than it is basically lifting up the Lee Sin and calling it a good play, because in the reality of the situation, you would not take it if you acknowledge that Pyke can outplay you, even if you're confident in your own ability, unless
assuming everyone is a computer that reacts to each thing perfectly.
Not even a computer. I hate that argument so much.
No, I'm just saying that. Like, in a perfect world where everyone has the perfect reactions, the Pyke is the one that is always going to
The Pyke's the one that's
moment.
always in control, right. Yeah. And so, in solo queue, you'll see it a lot. Lee Sin will take the queue a lot in solo queue. Because that is where people really just want to try to limit test, is what they call it.
Precisely.
But...
And
Pyke's
also, right, if the Pyke messes it up, then it's a free kill on the Pyke, and then you've got yourself a like momentum shift in the game. Like, you can understand the thought process there from Haru, but diving into 4 people, one of them being a Pyke, and using the Pyke as the taxi. Hindsight is 20/20, but this is a 10k gold lead, and it has a lot to do with things going wrong in the mid lane as well.
You can actually see this a lot too in certain other dynamics. I'm trying to think of one that would be super obvious. And I guess the Leona, maybe trying to like Zenith Blade onto a Thresh. Yeah. It's on the Thresh to do the flay. If Thresh does the flay, you end up looking like an idiot.
And also, like, speaking of looking like an idiot, I feel like this is one of those games where we complimented Hanwha's draft so much.
Oh, the draft is really good.
And it's really, really complex. It's cool. The idea is great, but I just don't know whether they put the time into working out how to navigate it to the level that it needed at this particular moment, because the amount of snowball that's happening right now is like putting Nunu to shame.
Oh, I mean, Willem is getting a little jealous right now, I think.
Yeah.
You know that image where the guy is looking at the other girl? Mm-hmm. And then there's the, so the guy is Nunu, Willem's the other girl, and then
there's this
Then there's this
this game, this DragonX experience. Maybe it's just a blue dragon face
With the-
looking back.
It's a blue dragon with like a snowball for a belly or something. I don't even.
play my blue eyes white dragon.
I
Well,
see what you did there.
that's blue eyes. It's not a blue dragon. It's a white dragon, isn't it?
Blue eyes, white dragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But,
fine.
I mean, the image.
You tried to go for it.
I tried. You know, I didn't play much.
And
Yu-Gi-Oh!
depending
as a
on
kid.
which card you get, he does sort of look blue.
All right.
Sometimes, you know?
All right. There we go. All right.
There you
Thanks so
go.
much.
I had to save you on that one.
Yeah,
you know?
thank you. Sometimes I need some saving. Let's be real. Thorn Mail actually just
Mail.
straight up completed by Doran.
Hello, hello. Itemization.
It's a pretty great one into Cuvée, especially when he's not going to be
And-
building anything like magic resistance.
And you know what else I would really like to see this game is the Morel and Omicron.
Yeah.
Would be very nice actually as a pickup.
Do you know what Chovy's done though?
Go
He's
ahead.
decided that he's got enough magic
gonna
penetration.
one-shot?
He's just going to one-shot, so he may as well. Oh, Lehens, that was an odd flash. Looked like he was trying to get over the wall, but is safe.
I have no idea what Trindamir's build is. He's built specifically only for orange. And so he just doesn't care about the rest of the game. And maybe now Hanwha Life are just going to go into full turtle mode and say, okay, Trindamir, you split.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why he's purchased the Last Whisper.
Not entirely sure, because right now, I don't think that he can split against Doran. I think Doran wins that. He doesn't even have any mana items. Doesn't seem too bad on mana. He will be building towards his Catalyst next, I believe. But in the meantime, the bottom lane situation doesn't matter at all. Cuvé's decided, I need a Rift Scuttler, not a inhibitor. DragonX, they are going to take it. And look, we often talk about this moment as like, now this is a lane that can't get farmed anymore. But honestly, money isn't what DragonX needs. They need broken bases. They
Yes.
need access to Nexus turrets.
Yes.
And the snowball is completed. In games where it's close enough for it to be drawn out, that's when you don't want to be taking that inhibitor at this moment. But
Yeah.
right now, it's about snowballing map pressure, not snowballing gold advantage.
And also, there's no wave clear on Hanwha Life right now because Karma is full support. And so she does not have a lot of AP on the super minion waves. And so it's not the end of the world. I mean, you have the Tiamat on the Lee Sin. He's also building Black Cleaver, which is definitely interesting.
Unless it's Trinity Force. It's not going to be Trinity Force. It's bad,
not
bad
gonna be.
item. It's
What?
definitely a bad item on Lee Sin. Not a good item on Lee Sin. Do you build Trinity Force on Lee Sin?
No,
Yeah. See?
but I don't think that's...
You don't think it's a bad item on Lee Sin?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I actually don't know. I talked about this on Twitter about a lot of champions, actually, that build Black Cleaver as their default.
Yeah, maybe Lee Sin's an
Lee Sin, there's
example,
an
like-
argument because he's a jungler, and typically junglers are function on lower economy.
But I mean, Camille existed for a long time.
Camille did exist, and Camille's a great Trinity Force user.
She is.
She is.
Maybe
but
not
she
as
skips
good.
the jungle item a lot.
Remember, you often need an auto attack reset in order to but Haru, like you weave autos just by nature of
Lee
like
Sin.
Lee Sin's kit.
Yeah. What is that on Zoe?
That's a forbidden book.
No, the active. You see it? Oh, she just used it.
Oh,
It was like a yellow ball.
Oh, it's the Shirelia's Revelry support item active thingy, I think.
Thingy-majiggy?
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
The Seal of
That does
Ascension.
the zippity-doodity?
Yeah, the one that gives your character life. As Carrier might be caught out, but is just going to dash his way out of there. A zoning bullet time just to make sure nothing else happens as now Tempt walks back into the Ornhorn. It's not what you want. Tempt now, oh, the wish comes through. This might be a team fight that they could win, but Carrier just finds Cuvée, stuns him up off to the side. He can't be the carry they're looking for, and once again, it's Carrier going God mode for DragonX, a second one. Cuvée survives for so damn long, but Pioshik is still hunting for this kill, and Chovy eventually gets it. Flashes forward with a flash that he stole previously and takes down the Tryndamere in the end. This should be the end of the game for DragonX as it's a celebratory death from below for Carrier.
And Redemption actually comes in to stop the Ornn as DragonX, yeah, they're saying that they want the end of the game here.
That's going to be it. Another one lands. These Bone Skewers are targeted, I'm pretty sure. as Vista going down extraordinarily low through
Oh,
so
Toby's
many
dead.
shields as Toby tried to escape, and he's like, quickly kill the Nexus before the turret shot gets to me. But now the Nexus is under fire. Some kills flying forward. Carrier is going to be taken down in the end, but Pioshik has one thing on his mind, and that is killing that Nexus, and they do so sub 25 minutes.
Well, it was a really exciting draft, but the game did just get blown open.
That was probably the best Pyke play I've ever seen.
Yeah.
How do you give up first blood and then come back and go like, hang on, wait a second, let's start the timer from here, boys. Start the timer from here, and then just completely pop off.
Yeah. It was something
This
straight
man-
out of a cartoon.
And remember, he's a rookie. Like, this is his first split. And to do that in your second week,
Yeah. Now he's vying
Kids
for
these days.
the rookie of the split plus the young.
yeah,
thing
the
award.
Young Player Award,
get the
our
double.
new one. He can.
And
And he could
Could
get
get
Player of the
MVP.
Game as well. Yeah, he could get just straight up MVP.
and he could get MVP in the
Playoff.
playoffs.
Yeah. there we-
And
and Pro Team.
oh, and pro
And
team.
he's got to become a coach. And then he can win the last one as well. We're talking him up, but man, that was just a slew of just highlight moments.
Well, the thing is everyone on Hanwha Life lost their lane. Especially the people that weren't supposed to lose their lane.
look at that Ornn damage.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's bashing on Tryndamere all game.
And also, when Tryndamere's bashing on him,
Yeah.
he's also bashing
This is-
in a result of him bashing.
Right, this is the reason that, like, stats are kind of funny.
Yeah,
because
well,
it's
when
like,
games-
wow, Ornn must have done a lot that
Yeah.
It's like, he was actually just...
When you're in a
against
laning
Tryndamere.
phase like that, you never actually get to a point where
Yes.
anything really happens. So
I like that game.
I loved that game.
I do.
I loved that Hanwha had
Today
this,
is a
this
much
great
better day
It
than
certainly has
yesterday.
looked up, hasn't
Yesterday was...
it? I left the broadcast feeling a little down yesterday.
I was very sad, actually.
Yeah.
I went back and I had no energy to... I was depressed.
Yeah, me too. Do you know what I went home and did? I built a table. I built some chairs, and then I sat down at my new table on my new chair and put my head in my hands. But today, going to be doing something very different. We'll be back for game number 2 after the break.
저기. 애들 뒤에 라인 다 막혔어. 살았어. 하나만 볼래? 하나만. 우리 조이 물고. 하나만 놓고. 나 멀어. 하나만 놓고. 빨리면서 하지 마. 여기까지. 그만해봐. 길게 빨리지 마. 나 멀어. 뛴다며. 뒤. 가자. 갈 수 있는 사람? 나 계속 가는 중. 바론 갈래? 1번 오고. 바론 못 잡고. 나? 프리스 봐. 없어. 해볼게.
따라볼래? 어.
나 천천히 봐.
나 고맙다.
안 다치면 써줄게.
너희 긁었어? 내가 안 빼겠다.
애매하고. 혼자 빼야 돼.
이상?
빼. 파이크 노플. 안돼. 살려줘. 올라프 노플.
따라줘 제발.
알아줘.
아.
조이 노플. 아이고. 망했다. 내 칼 바뀌지가 않아요.
망했다. 아이고. 까비.
아야.
가자. 야 리신 가라.
가자고? 아니 chen 기다려.
생 기다려. 미포 노고.
야.
자,
나
죽어.
걸어볼게. 한번 봐줘 이거.
필요 없어.
아 오케이.
나오게 할 거야.
여기 다 도구들밖에 어쩔 수 없어. 도구들밖에 없어요. 야 잡았다.
나이스. 파라 리세. 바이크 나 죽여 그냥.
기다려봐.
야 죽였다 바이크.
마이크 죽였고.
끝난 거 같은데? 에 막아봐.
아 미안. 까비. 아유 반점 차이.
자.